Ken has been waiting a while to come on.
Hey, how you doing, Larry?
Doing well, sir.
Well, I was just wondering, a lot of these Republicans seem like, nice people, Michelle Bachmann and all that, but it's like they're financial sadists, Anytime they hear that the, poor people got a couple nickels in their pocket, maybe they raised minimum wage, a quarter or something like that, right away they want to take it all away from them. Because these rich people are so bored out of their minds. They've got billions upon billions, but no, they got to put 100,000 people out of work, send the jobs to China. By the way, China doesn't do that, by the way. You talking about the stimulus package? They made sure that all their goods were made over in China. Did you know that?
Ken, you probably have made about 6 or 7 misstatements just in the brief time that we've talked. Where should I start?
Well, name me one country that's successful first world country that's not socialist. How about starting with that? Can you name even one?
Let me think.
Yeah.
America?
Hong Kong?
America?
America's very socialist. It's one of the least, it's of the first world countries, the least socialist. But I would say it's a lot of socialist.
Well, you are right.
Medicare socialist.
Based on it is. You are right. Based upon the very
Ryan Rand relied on.
Ken, may I have a shot? You
Okay.
think maybe? Let's go back to some of the things that you said. You said when the minimum wage is raised, the rich want to, quote, take it away from them or something to that effect?
Because they're bored out of their skulls.
You mean the reason for the economic positions of the so-called rich is because they're bored?
Out of their skulls, sitting around the pool collecting their dividends, the Paris Hilton crowd. They don't know what else to do with themselves. They've got so many billions upon billions upon billions. Yes.
Yeah. All right, Ken. Let's try and stay focused. I know it's going to be difficult for you, but let's try and stay focused on minimum wage for a moment. Do you believe that when you raise the minimum wage, you destroy job opportunities for those at the very bottom without skills?
Increases employment.
Do you believe that?
You get more employment when you increase minimum wage. Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
Based on what?
Because they have, what you don't understand, Larry, is that when people have money in their pockets, they can go, it creates demand. That's the problem with this economy. We don't have any demand.
Can you cite any study, any economist, any book I could read, because obviously you know more about it than I do,
well,
let me finish, that tells me increasing minimum wage increases job opportunities? Can you give me anybody who says that? Any article, anything, I'm happy to read it.
Well, can you give me any article that says otherwise?
Oh my God, Ken! Of course I can. I'll tell you. Let me answer your question.
For many years.
Let me answer your question, Ken. There's something called the Joint Committee on Economics, and it comprises of both Republicans and Democrats in Congress. And they looked at minimum wage studies in the last 50 years. You can go online, or if you don't want to go online, you can leave your email to Dino, and I will send you the link. They went over every one of the major scholarly reports research regarding minimum wage, and in every single case, it found that minimum wage hurts women, hurts the unskilled, hurts teenagers, hurts part-timers. In every single case. So I've asked you one more time, Ken, give me any study that says otherwise. I can also give you a poll that says 90% of economists feel that increasing minimum wage hurts economic prospects for those at the very bottom.
Well, remember, Larry, economics is not a science, it's an art. I heard that from Mark Germain. It really is. It's a delicate balance.
It's a social science. It's not an art. It's a social science.
Yeah.
It's not like arts and crafts.
Yeah,
it's a social
not all
science.
Numbers and stuff. A lot of it is psychology, with the stock market, investors hear certain things, they all run to the exit. It's herd mentality, and it's a whole bunch of things that make economics. But people can't live with $2
Ken, let me give you a real world example. I have unfortunately a friend whom I've known virtually all my life who is not doing well, and for a time he was actually literally homeless. He told me that he walked into a convenience store that had a very filthy parking lot. He desperately needed money, and he said, "I will clean your parking lot." He figured it would take about an hour, and I'll clean it for $4. And the woman seemed very nervous and wary. My friend believes that she thought he was some sort of government guy trying to bust her for hiring somebody below minimum wage. As you know, the minimum wage in California is close to $8.
It's $2 in Texas.
No, it's not.
You can pay people $2 an hour. I think it's Arkansas. Waitresses, supposedly they're tipped so much money. You can't.
Let me. Ken, can I finish my story? Yes, I've been a waiter. Wait for my dad. Can I finish my story, Ken, please?
Yeah.
Okay. So she says no. He said, I'll do it for $3. She says no. He said, I'll do it for $2.50. She said no. I don't want to get into. I'm imitating the accent of somebody from South Korea. I don't want to get in trouble with people.
Yeah, good.
Okay, my point, Ken, is now we have a dirty parking lot. We have a homeless guy who doesn't have $2.50 or $3 in his pocket. Why? Because she was afraid she was going to get busted from people like you who believe that there ought to be a law compelling her to pay a certain amount of money for something that a willing supplier of labor is willing to do for less money. Does that make any kind of sense to you?
Well, that's because they're so desperate. They're playing the one against the other. It's a race to the bottom.
So it's a good idea that my friend who's homeless doesn't have $3 in his pocket, and it's a good idea that parking lot is filthy.
Well, it's better than because he's hurting everybody else in the workforce if he continues to do that. Your friend does that. He's hurting everybody else. There are limits to certain things. You got to have rules, like child labor.
My friend is hurting somebody else by taking a job that nobody wants for $2.50 an hour that would give us the benefit of having a clean parking lot, and he is hurting people by being willing to work for $2.50 an hour.
Yes, he is. He's taking it away from people like me, for example. He's hurting me personally, and I don't even know the guy. He is hurting me.
Wow.
That's right. And child labor I'm against, too, just for the record.
All right, we'll have to continue with Ken when we come back. Where do they get these people? How do you do it? How do you do it? We're on the line with Ken. Ken, you had a question before we went to the break.
What do you think of child labor, Larry?
Well, it depends on the age.
Oh, okay. I know a lot of Republicans are trying to open up this issue again.
Depends on the age. What do you think about piano prodigies?
What do I think about? Well, they're child actors. I mean, they're...
Yeah. What do you think about piano prodigies?
You mean like child actors and stuff like that?
And ballerinas. People that start their craft at a very young age and devote much of their time to the exclusion of other things. You think people ought not do that?
I haven't thought about child actors.
Well, think about it. Think about it.
But as far as working in a factory, I'm against it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think
you feel in a third world country, if a woman wants her child to work in a factory where poverty is substantial, that the child ought not be able to work in the factory?
I think that's nothing but people. Why can't they hire adults? See, these billionaires are so cheap that they have to go to third world countries, and the adults that work for nothing, it's not low enough for them. There you go, where the greed is again. Mm-hmm. The doctrine, this is Ayn Rand Nazi stuff. She said Nietzsche, you've heard of Nietzsche and all that doctrine of the Superman, that they should have everything, and everyone else should have nothing.
Is that what Republicans... Let me finish, Ken. Is that what Republicans believe, that everybody should have nothing except for them? Is that what they believe?
Like 8 people, $14 trillion economy, and give it all to 8 people.
Okay, name the Republican who feels that way.
Well, they're not going to say it outright.
I see.
Because people would vote against.
Well, then how do you know it? I mean, you've infiltrated, you've sent spies. How is it you know? How is it you know that rich people sit around saying, I want to make sure I have everything and everybody else has nothing? How do you know that?
I see what's going on. The Republicans oppose in the stimulus bill having everything made here in America. They voted. It was Nancy Pelosi passed in the Senate, and they got the nerve to vote it down in the Senate. And they always vote down minimum wage. Anything that helps anybody other than billionaires, they're always against. And I didn't vote for Obama.
I wish it were true that Republicans always voted down minimum wage. Are you aware that George W. Bush increased minimum wage?
Yeah, finally after
Well, you just said they always voted down. So
well, it was political because he checked the polls too. There's a little not always there's a little art in politics too. He's checking the polls.
Ken, one more thing before you go.
He did a little triangulation there.
Are you happy with the economy right now?
It could be a lot better. It could be a lot better than it is.
What exactly should we be doing that we're not doing? What would you advise Obama to do?
We should hire instead of giving the money, the welfare to the rich, all the $150 billion. We should hire every single unemployed person at $30 an hour, Larry. And don't tell me they can't do it. They don't have the money. Everyone's gonna laugh at you. That's ridiculous. They got more money. They are rolling in more cash You know, this idea that we just shower the billionaires with even more money. They're sitting on $2 trillion. Give them more tax cuts that they're going to hire people is ridiculous. They need incentives. We need to raise the tax rate.
Pay every unemployed person at $30 an hour, which comes out to about $60 grand a year.
What's wrong with that?
To do what?
How about flipping hamburgers? They should, and they wouldn't raise the. I don't believe they'd even raise the. They might raise it a nickel at McDonald's. Okay, don't tell me it's all labor. That McDonald's is a real estate company.
If you made McDonald's pay their burger flippers $60,000 a year, it wouldn't increase the cost of a hamburger.
No, I don't believe it would. What do you think of that? I don't think it would hardly increase it at all. It's mainly they're a real estate company, not a food company. I don't know if you know that.
I think this is one of the dumbest conversations I've ever had.
McDonald's is a real estate company. You didn't know? You think that's dumb?
I think, Ken, this is one of the dumbest conversations I've ever had.
All their money goes to real estate.
I don't know that I've ever spoken to anybody who is economically as illiterate as you are.
Well, Larry, once again,
this is probably the most ignorant conversation I've ever had. Okay. Even Dennis Kucinich would probably call you ignorant.
Name me one person. Name me one. Why are people not leaving Canada? I asked this before. Why are all the people leaving Canada, Larry, if socialism doesn't work?
As a percentage of their population, do you think more people are leaving Canada or more people are leaving here?
They're mostly leaving Mexico. Which
No. You asked about Canada. I've answered your question. Please respond. Do you think, as a percentage of the population, more Canadians are leaving Canada or more Americans are leaving America?
Well, and maybe in the winter they leave for the Florida. I don't know.
The answer is, as a percentage of the population, more Canadians are leaving Canada than Americans are leaving here.
I've never heard that before. I've never seen.
Well, no, I just made it up, Ken.
No, I don't think you're making.
No. In order to win the argument, I just made it up.
I don't understand. I don't even understand your statistics.
I made it up. I made it up the way you make up the fact that the rich people sit around saying, "I want to make sure I have everything," and everybody else has nothing. They don't say it. They don't say it, but you know it.
We have illegals from Canada. You're saying illegal aliens crossing the Canadian border. Big problem with that.
That is not what I said. What I said, you said, where are all the people leaving Canada? And I said, as a percentage of their population, more Canadians leave Canada than Americans leave America. That's what I said. Okay. And then you said, where are all the illegal aliens coming in from Canada, which is not what I said.
Okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding.
You certainly did.
Yes, I think I see what you're saying.
Now, which country, by the way, in the world absorbs more illegal aliens than any other?
Well, are the Canadians leaving?
The answer is America. And why do you suppose they're coming here as opposed to going to some of the socialist paradises that you mentioned?
Well, Americans are leaving. Where are they leaving to? Is that what you're saying?
All right, Ken, thank you for the call.
What you've just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything